Sorry, I had to take a drink. um, so today we'll be working in my workbook called Saul, Israel's First King. And this covers 1 Samuel chapters 8 through 15. And looking at our table of contents, we've already done completed the first chapter. And my voice is going. Excuse me. Um, so now we'll be working in chapter 2, which is Saul is chosen to be king. If you recall in chapter 1, the people were upset because Samuel's two sons, who were the leaders of Israel, were not good people. And so instead of calling out God, they called out and told Samuel that they wanted a king like the rest of the nations around them. Uh, Samuel explained to them all the bad reasons for having a king, but that didn't persuade them, and they wanted a king. So at the end of chapter 1, God says to Samuel, they will have a king. So now we're in chapter 2. Samuel is chosen to be king. Saul is chosen to be king. 1 Samuel 9:1 through 10:9. There was a Benjamite, a man of standing, whose name was Kish, son of Abel, the son of Zerah, the son of Bechorath, the son of Apha of Benjamin. Kish had a son named Saul, as handsome a young man as could be found anywhere in Israel, and he was head taller than anyone else. So he was quite tall. Family tree was very important to the Jews. It was critical to be able to trace your family line back to one of the original sons of Jacob. Here we have several of Saul's ancestors. Name his relatives. His father was Kish. His grandfather was Abel. His great-grandfather was Zerah. And his great-great-grandfather is Bechorath. And his great-great-great-grandfather was Aphith. And that he is the tribe of Benjamin. Saul had two physical characteristics. What are they? He was a head taller than anyone else, and he was handsome. Now the donkeys belonging to Saul's father Kish were lost. And Kish said to his son Saul, "Take one of the servants with you and go and look for the donkeys." So he passed through the hill country of Ephraim and through the area around Shaalashah, but they did not find them. So Ephraim, Shaalashah, and so he's traveling. Okay. What was lost? The donkeys. Who did the animals belong to? Kish, Saul's father. Circle Gibeah. Gibeah. This is the town that Saul is from. Underline Benjamin. Underline Benjamin. Saul is a Benjamite from the area of Benjamin. Circle Shaalashah. Okay, I'm going to circle Shaalashah. Underline Mount Ephraim. Mount Ephraim. Mount Ephraim. Where are you, Mount Ephraim? Apparently it's a mountain range. Follow the area from Gibeah to the second arrow mark. Near the A at Mount Ephraim. Oh, to the second arrow mark. Who did Saul take with him? So that we're going to go ahead and circle that so we all know where we are. He took a servant with him. Did Saul find the donkeys? No, he did not. They went on into the district of Shalem, but the donkeys were not there. Then he passed through the territory of Benjamin, but they did not find them. When they reached the district of Zuph, Saul said to the servant who was with him, "Come, let's go back, or my father will stop thinking about the donkeys and start worrying about us." But the servant replied, "Look, in this town there is a man of God. He is highly respected, and everything he says comes true. Let's go there now. Perhaps he'll tell us what way to take." Underline Shalim. Well, okay, I'm going to underline Shalim. Underline Zuf. Trace the arrowed line to the town of Ramah. Okay, so the town of Ramah. This is where they will find the man of God. Okay, so they're now going from second arrow to the third arrow. So we're going to go ahead and put a circle there. Why did Saul want to go back? Because he didn't want his father to start worrying about them. What did the servant suggest? Let's go to Ramah to talk to the man of God. Saul said to his servant, "If we go, what can we give this man? The food in our sacks is gone. We have no gift to take to the man. What do we have?" The servant answered him again and said, "Look," he said, "I have a quarter of a shekel of silver. I'll give it to the man of God so that he will tell us what way to take." Formerly in Israel, if someone wanted to inquire of God, they would say, "Come, let's go to the seer," because the prophet of today used to be called the seer. "Good," Saul said to his servant, let's go." So they set out for the town where the man of God was. Why did Saul and his servant want to see the man of God? Because they've lost the donkeys and don't know where they are. What was Saul worried about regarding meeting the man of God? That they had nothing to pay him with. What did the servants suggest they could give the man of God? A quarter of a shekel of silver. The prophet used to be called something different. What was it? A seer. Did Saul accept his servant's suggestion as a gift for the man of God? Yes, indeed he did. Where does the man of God live? In Ramah. This is Samuel that they're going to go see. As they were going up to the hill to the town, they met some young women coming out to draw water, and they asked them, "Is the seer here?" "He is," they answered. "He's ahead of you. Hurry now, he has just come to our town today, for the people have a sacrifice at the high place. As soon as you enter the town, you will find him before he goes up to the high place to eat. People will not begin eating until he comes, because he must bless the sacrifice. Afterward, those who are invited will eat. Go up now, you should find him about this time." Who did they meet coming out of the town of Ramah? Some young woman going to draw water. Usually the well is outside of the town. Sometimes the well's outside of the town. Why is the man of God in this town at this point? Because they're going to have some sacrifices. Why would the people not begin eating until Samuel gets to the high place? Because he's going to bless the food, much like we pray before eating. Note that the town of Shiloh, where the tabernacle was, is no longer used for sacrifice. Apparently, as hinted about in the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah 7:12, it was destroyed probably when the Philistines had captured the ark, 1 Samuel 4-6. The Ark of the Covenant is now located in Kiriath Jearim, which is Samuel 7:1. They went up to the town, and as they were entering it, there was Samuel, coming toward them on his way to the high place. Now the day before Saul came, the Lord had revealed this to Samuel. "About this time tomorrow, I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin. Anoint him ruler over my people Israel, and he will deliver them from the hand of the Philistines. I have looked on my people, for their cry has reached me." When Samuel caught sight of Saul, the Lord said to him, "This is the man I spoke to you about. He will govern my people." Who did Saul and his servant meet as they went into the town of Ramah? Samuel. Did God talk to Samuel beforehand? Talk to Samuel about Saul beforehand? Yes. What description does God give Samuel about Saul so that he will recognize him? A man from Benjamin. What did God tell Samuel to do to Saul? Anoint him to be the king, future king. What prophecy does God make about Saul? He will govern my people. Do you think God purposely lost the donkey so this meeting between Samuel and Saul would happen? Very possible, because he can do all things. Saul approached Samuel in the gateway and asked, "Will you please tell me where the seer's house is?" "I'm the seer," Samuel replied. "Go up ahead of me to the high place. For today you are to eat with me, and in the morning I will send you on your way and will tell you all that is in your heart. As for the donkeys you lost 3 days ago, do not worry about them. They have been found. And to whom is all the desire of Israel turned, if not to you and your whole family line?" Did Samuel already know what Saul was going to ask about before he was asked? Yes, indeed he did. Where did Samuel tell Saul to go? Go up ahead of me to the high place. How long had Saul been looking for the donkeys? Over 3 days. When will Samuel be sending Saul on his way on the next day? Saul answered, "But am I not a Benjamite from the smallest tribe of Israel? And is not my clan the least of all the clans of the tribes of Benjamin? Why do you say such a thing to me?" Then Samuel brought Saul and his servant into the hall and seated them at the head of those who were invited, about 30 in number. Samuel said to the cook, "Bring the piece of meat I gave you, the one I told you to lay aside." So the cook took up the thigh with what was in it and set it in front of Saul. Samuel said, "Here is what has been kept for you. Eat, because it was set aside for you for this occasion. From the time I said I have invited guests." As Saul dined with Samuel that day. Which tribe is the smallest tribe of Israel? Benjamin. What is Saul's response to Samuel's attentions? "I don't understand what you're doing." How many people were invited to the meal? 30. Where did Samuel seat Saul at the table, at the head of the table? What was set aside for Saul to eat? A thigh that was set aside for him to eat. After they came from the high place to the town, Samuel talked with Saul on the roof of his house. They rose about daybreak, and Samuel called to Saul on the roof, "Get ready, and I will send you on your way." When Saul got ready, he and Samuel went outside together. As they were going down to the edge of town, Samuel said to Saul, "Tell the servant to go on ahead of us." And the servant did so. But you stay here for a while so that I may give you a message from God." After Samuel and Saul came down from the high place, where did they continue their talk? On the roof of Samuel's house. Where at Samuel's house did Saul sleep? Um, the roof of the house. As they were going down to the edge of town, what town are they at the edge of? Ramah. Who did Samuel tell Saul to send on ahead of them? His servant. What did Samuel want to tell Saul? "I have a message for you from God." Then Samuel took a flask of olive oil and poured it on Saul's head and kissed him, saying, "Has not the Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance?" Throughout ancient times, the kings were ceremonially anointed as a sign of of God's power upon them, and that they were officially appointed to the office of king. Normally, olive oil was used, but at times other oils were used, like the oil of myrrh in Esther 2:12. What is Samuel anointing Saul for? He's going to be the future king. What kind of oil did Samuel use? Olive oil. What does Samuel say when he anoints Saul? "Has not Lord anointed you ruler over his inheritance?" Kings were anointed for what two reasons? And God's power is upon them, and they're officially appointed to the office of king. If you were Saul, what would you be thinking at this point? "I'm not sure what's going on. What is this guy doing? Is he sure he's in his right mind? I am just from the clan of Benjamite. What are you doing?" That's what I think he would say. "When you leave me today, you will meet two men near Rachel's tomb at Zelzah on the border of Benjamin." They will say to you, the donkeys you set out to look for have been found, and now your father has stopped thinking about them and is worried about you. He is asking, what shall I do about my son? Then you will go on from there until you reach the great tree at Tabor. 3 men going up to worship God at Bethel will meet you there. One will be carrying 3 young goats, another 3 loaves of bread, another a skin of wine. They will greet you and offer you 2 loaves of bread, which you will accept from them. Circle the oak of Tabor. Okay, the oak of Tabor. Where is the oak of, oh, there. Circle. Right here. Circle Bethel. Okay. Where is Bethel? Where is Bethel? Sorry. Circle Bethel. Let's circle. Okay, Bethel. I see Bethel. Circle the oak of Tabor. That's a great tree of Tabor. Circle Bethel. Bethel is one of the high places people went to worship. When Saul meets the 2 men at Rachel's tomb, what will they tell him? The donkeys you set out to look for have been found. Who will Saul meet at the great tree of Tabor? 3 men who are going up to God to worship God at Bethel. What will the 3 men offer Saul? 2 loaves of bread. After that, you'll go to Gibeah of God, where there is a Philistine outpost. As you approach the town, you'll meet a procession of prophets coming down from the high place, with lyres, timbrels, pipes, and harps being played before them, and they will be prophesying. The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully upon you, and you will prophesy with them, and you will be changed into a different person. Once these signs are fulfilled, do whatever your hands find to do, for God is with you. Gibeah of God, its the name is Gibeah Elohim. Circle the one at the end of the black arrow. Okay. What nation is in control of Gibeah Elohim? It's a Philistine outpost. It should be, yeah, interesting. Who will Saul meet at Gibeah Elohim? Prophets, a procession of prophets coming down. What is going to happen to Saul at this point? The Spirit of the Lord will come powerfully upon him. And who will be with Saul when he changes to a different person? The Spirit of God. Go down ahead of me to Gilgal. I will surely come down to you to sacrifice burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. But you must wait 7 days until I come to you and tell you what to do. As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. Find Gilgal and underline it. Okay, Gilgal. Well, where is Gilgal? Oh, way over here. Way over here. Make a line from Gibbeth Elohim to Gilgal. Okay. Whoops, I don't want to take the whole thing. Okay, make a line. Thank you. Gibbeth Elohim to Gilgal. Who will later meet Saul at Gilgal? Samuel. How long is Saul to wait after he gets to Gilgal until Samuel gets there? 7 days. What kind of offerings will Samuel do with Saul in Gilgal? Um, Burnt and fellowship offerings. Do you think all the prophecies of Samuel will be fulfilled? Um, it says at the end here that they will be fulfilled that day. The scripture says God changed Saul's heart. What do you think God changed? All the negativity in Saul's heart, all the sense of who me and why me, and all he empowered him. Is what I believe anyway. So now we come to the crossword. And let's make sure I have the crossword in front of me so that I can help you with that. Maybe I have the crossword open. Yes, there it is. Oh. What type of oil does Samuel pour over Saul's head? That's 3 across. That'd be olive. Yeah. What was another name for a prophet? That's 5 across. That's seer. Number 6 across. What prophet did Saul and his servant go see? Samuel. And then 7 across. Who was Saul's father? Kish. Okay, 1 down. What animal belonging to Kish was lost? A donkey. 2, the servant had a quarter of shekel of what to give Samuel? Silver. And 4, what tribe is Saul from? Benjamin, actually. So that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.